Manitoba's NDP government is asking the Auditor General to take a look into Manitoba Public Insurance's now scrapped plan to modernize their computer systems with a software project dubbed Nova, which seems to have started under the previous Conservative government, had its budget balloon from an estimated 100-ish million to over 400-ish million before it was scrapped after MPI unfortunately wasted over 160-ish million on it. So according to my mother's math, we saved over 50%. It's a great deal. I love my mother, but her her math while shopping is entertaining. Unfortunately, it's estimated that we only got around 60-ish million in value. Yikes. Now, before anyone starts calling for CEOs to be fired, in a refreshing change, the CEO who was responsible for this mess has in fact already been canned. MPI unfortunately hasn't given the reason for the cost overruns, but if I had to guess, or if I just chose to guess, because obviously if you're still watching, you probably want to hear my thoughts. My guess would be that this probably had to do with old people and business boys not understanding how computers work or how software development happens. It's a lot easier to keep giving money to a company that got a contract to develop software than it is to take a deep breath and admit that the company that got hired probably can't do the job, isn't doing the job, and has run off with the money while subcontracting all the work to North Korean spies. To be clear, that is a thing that we know happens. Unfortunately, when it comes to software development, public-private partnerships very often end up with the public getting fleeced. Federal and provincial governments honestly really need to start investing in hiring nerds. Not pedantic pseudo-lawyer policy nerds, though. Though I suppose we do need those as well. We need government software engineers. Now, there's two ways that you can go about this. One would be to simply hire people with computer science degrees who can interact with developers working on software projects, confirm that work is being done, and that an appropriate amount of work is being done by competent people, and that things are running on schedule. But honestly, what I would prefer is that governments start investing in hiring heaps of software engineers. I had a buddy of mine who worked at Shaw Cable with me. He eventually got moved to administrative work, and he got so bored with the mind-numbing work that they wanted him to do that he completely automated his job because it was easier for him to get lots of work done by setting up his workstation to automatically do the consistently brain-dead work that the business boys ought to have known could be automated than it was to just do it manually himself. When he finally took a buyout and went back to school to finish his degree, he just told his bosses about the programs that he'd made and gave them to his boss to run. At least that's, I think, how the story went. Silly bureaucratic thinking says that it's cheaper to hire an outside contracting firm for several million rather than to hire a bunch of software developers that maybe we don't know what to do with after the project's done. But no, if you hire good people who actually know what they're doing, you can build a culture that